this is one story that I've been particularly interested in. Okay, again, a Common Dreams India Media Award honoree. I can't say that enough. I created these things, and not just me, but a bunch of us decided to create these things because these are the best outlets out there, and we want to shout them out and let people know that they are the best of the best. So shout out to Julia and Common Dreams. They go full throttle. A huge deal. Major rail union rejects the White House brokered contract proposal. All right. What? Yes. I don't think it's much of a surprise, but what? Thank God for these guys. Uh-oh. Hey, you covered up my logo. All right. So maintenance workers voted against the tentative agreement reached last month and said without a fair contract, a work stoppage could begin as early as November 19th. Unfortunately, that is after the election, and that is exactly what the Biden administration was hoping to achieve. But it's still good to hear. A union representing railroad maintenance and construction workers on Monday announced that its members have rejected the tentative agreement reached last month between unions and rail carriers, putting pressure on the carriers to offer a better deal to workers in order to avoid a nationwide strike in the coming weeks. Woohoo! Let's do this. Right? The result of this vote indicates that there's a lot of work to do to establish goodwill and improve the morale that has been broken by the railroad executives and Wall Street hedge fund managers. They're reporting a turnout of almost 12,000 members. The BMWED, the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees Division, all right, BMWED, said that about a little bit more than half had voted against ratifying the agreement, and 5,100 had supported the deal, which was brokered last month with the help of the Biden administration's Presidential Emergency Board. 99 ballots were returned blank or were voided due to user errors. Right, so the tentative agreement last month would include one additional paid day off and permit workers to take unpaid days to receive medical care without being penalized by carriers' strict attendance policies. Two key concessions from the companies, as railroad workers' unions had expressed deep dissatisfaction with attendance rules and a lack of any paid sick time. I mean, it's brutal. These guys get 33 days off a year. A year.
I mean, they probably also expressed deep dish dissatisfaction, but you know.
Well,
I digress.
Come on, don't get me started on the pizza wars. Come on. Are we talking about tomato soup wars? Are we talking about tomato soup discredit?
Yeah, it's a bread bowl, bro.
Bread
bowls are delicious.
Bread bowls are delicious, but they're not pizza.
It's got sausage.
All right.
Cheese on the bottom.
The deal would also include a 24% pay raise between 2020 and 2024 and would freeze workers' monthly contributions for their healthcare plans. Also good, both healthcare plans. Got marble mouth tonight. After the tentative agreement was reached on September 15th, the railroad sector's unions agreed to not strike as workers across the industry voted on the deal. Well, now they have. Now, said the BMW Ed, the nation's third largest rail workers union and a division of the Teamsters, on Monday, a work stoppage could begin as early as November 19th, depending on the upcoming votes by other unions. Now, our friend and Labor Notes journalist Jonah Furman called the BMW Ed vote a huge deal, as a strike by the union's members would shut down the national rail freight system by itself. The last nationwide railway shutdown took place in 1992 when a single union voted against a contract agreement and went on strike. Monday's agreement could potentially sway the members of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, the BLET, right? Which is also a Teamsters affiliate. BLET. Yeah, that's the sound that Reef just made, coughing. And the sheet, metal, air, rail, and transportation workers, also transportation division, the SMART TD. There are also two rail unions which have been negotiating a fair contract with carriers for several years and which will vote on the tentative deal within the coming weeks. This thing ain't over yet, tweeted Jack Gerard, and he's a rail worker. BMW Ed's rejection will probably embolden SMART and BLET members who were on the fence.
BMWed rejection will probably embolden SMART and BLET. That's
Yeah.
a weird sentence.
That is a little weird, but thank goodness for our unionized workers. Support
Not as
unions.
much as who was it? Pickle Swizzle?
Right?
Who was it?
Pickle
I
Swine,
can't even
Pickles,
remember now.
Officer Picklestein.
Pickle Sinkle.
He's a hero, man. He's a hero. I don't want to make fun of him, but Tony Cardwell, who's president of the BMW Ed, said in the statement that the vote signifies that despite U.S. President Joe Biden's positive outlook following the tentative agreement, which earned the White House praise from the corporate media last month for helping the country avoid a strike and a major disruption to the economy, and also potentially to the 2022 midterms, rail workers continue to be discouraged and upset with working conditions and compensation and hold their employer in low regard. Again, they did not get a good deal. Joe Biden didn't get them a good deal. Joe Biden used this whole thing as a stunt. He put his arm around them and then said, we got him a good deal, even though they didn't think it was a good deal. But the rest of the country says so. So now when they go on strike, it's, well, we got him a good deal. What do you mean? What's your problem? Pieces of shit. Can't stand these bastards. Rail carriers, as Common Dreams reported last month, have seen their profits soar in recent years as workers have labored without a contract, earning stagnant wages. We all know that. Railroaders do not feel valued. The result of this vote indicates that there's a lot of work to do to establish goodwill and improve the morale that has been broken by the railroads, executives, and Wall Street hedge fund managers. We said that earlier. Membership voted in record numbers on this tentative agreement, exhibiting that they're paying close attention and are engaged in this process. Union members are concerned with the direction of their employees and the mismanagement and greed, their employers and mismanagement and greed in which they've consistently implemented, and are united in their resolve to improve their working conditions across the entire Class 1 rail network. Good. Because these are the people that make our stuff go. They can shut it down. But what's going to happen, well, our concern is that they'll use the cops to actually go to these people's houses and make them go to work. With the union rejecting the agreement, the BMW had entered a status quo period Monday, with negotiators returning to the bargaining table with freight carriers. That status quo period will extend to 5 days after Congress reconvenes, which is currently set for November 14th, which is why you've got the November 19th start date for the strike. Okay, that if an agreement is not reached by then, workers could resort to self-help or a strike on November 19th at the earliest. An internal poll taken by Smart TD after the tentative deal was reached showed that 78% of the members wanted the union to reject the agreement and ultimately let Congress decide the national rail contract.
Oh, of course.
No! Who do you think they work
Congress.
for? Who do you think they work for, guys? Not you. The vote announced Monday shows that BMW members are fed up with the carrier's abusive work practices and are ready to demand more. Yeah, except letting Congress decide what you're going to get is not demanding more. Withholding your labor is demanding more. Man, that's just, you know, solidarity with the rail workers. Again, all the people that are making the decisions about these people's lives are sleeping in comfy beds and having their weekends free and taking nice, comfortable vacations. And they are not experiencing what these rail workers are. And if they had to live 1 month the way these guys did, they would change the complete laws. That's what really drives me crazy. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Coffee Cough? You're muted.
I was wondering what else drove you crazy. I know that drives you crazy.
Lots of things.
You know?
Lots of things make me crazy.
Like
well, federal corruption.
Not Kit Rock.
Federal corruption.
Sure.
Well, stop calling it butt rock. Why you got called butt rock? You got called butt rock.
Yeah, but that's like puddle of mud, stained. You know,
puddle of mud. Talking stained.
puddle of mud.
What is
Stained.
Andrew Roqueford's
I love
Twitter?
that
That's a good
video.
question. He's got two of them. He's got the Roqueford Files, and he's got another one. I gotta look it up. I was messaging with him earlier. Go follow the Roqueford Files.